Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine and I'm back to do another round of reviews of Big Brother. This time I'm reviewing season 18 and we're going to talk all about episode number 1. This season so far is pretty intense, and I should have realized how intense this episode was going to be when those little introduction vignettes for each player was maybe about 15 to 30 seconds long. Big Brother decided not to spend too much time with us getting to know these 12 people. I guess they figured most people watch the interviews, and if you did not watch those interviews, definitely check out my video that I'm going to post the link to below this in the description box, where I break down each and every interview for you guys and tell you who I like and who's just kind of and meh in my opinion. Okay, so pretty much Big Brother allowed 3 groups of 4 to enter the house. The first group included Natalie, Victor, Michelle, and Paul. The second group included Bronte, Zakia, Glenn, and Paulie. And the third group included Corey, Tiffany, Bridget, and Hosea. One thing I love about Big Brother, besides the fact that I don't believe that anything they do is done by accident, is the fact that they allow people to have this false sense of security when they first enter the house. Everybody comes in, they're like, we're going to play this game, but oh my God, you're cute, you guys are all cool. And then they pull the rug out from under them. Let me tell you, I knew for the past few weeks that 4 house guests were coming in this house because only 12 were announced. And then only 12 were revealed. I mean, pretty much everybody knew that, but I heard the names going around everywhere. But I had a feeling that Davon and Frank Udy were going to be the 2 people entering that house. I was just trying to figure out who everybody else was going to be. Some people claimed Jeff, somebody said Ian, someone said Shelly, somebody said James, and somebody said Nicole. I'm just happy that Frank Udy and Davon are back in the house. But for a minute there, it seemed like Davon was in trouble. Not like she's not in trouble with that group, Big Sister, that she's a part of, because she's literally in a group of snakes who seriously want to stab her in the back, but I feel like she's going to flip it and take each one of them out unless one of them decides to flip it and say, I'm on your side, Davon, I want to play with you. But other than that, I feel like she could do this if she plays it right, and we are not dealing with the same Davon from Big Brother 17, because she was fussing with us, but as far as the diary room is concerned, but last year, Davon would have gone off. Like, seriously going off. And considering how Paul was all in her face and barking orders, I mean, there are people out here who probably don't like her, but there are people out here who wouldn't blame her, because Paul was extremely intense. And speaking of Paul did a 180, because in his interview, he said that he was going to be laid back and go with the flow, and this house is going to get to me. I'm going to be all cool. And he came into this house and started kind of, becoming loud, a little bit wild, which he said he was going to be wild, so that wasn't a big surprise. He also told us that he's going to be like Godzilla in this house. I don't know how that's going to go over with some of these people. I don't think it's going to go over well. Don't forget my tattoo theory. People with tattoos in the Big Brother house don't make it very far, and if they do, they don't win. But also, the biggest thing that surprised me about Paul was this attraction to Zakia, and I was like, Zakia? No shade or anything, but you truly can't judge a book by its cover. And I was like, Paul like Zakia? Well, one thing I learned about this season so far is there's going to be a lot of tension. some of that will probably be sexual tension as well, because apparently, and I did take notes, Zakiya likes Paulie, Cody's brother. Paul likes Zakiya. Natalie likes, I think it was Corey. Victor likes Natalie. I mean, it's just going to get crazy as people start revealing their feelings, and hopefully people feel the same way, because if not, it's going to become extremely tense. I mean, not like it doesn't happen every season, but still, I feel like this one is going to be the most intense, because we have the wildest personalities I have ever seen in the Big Brother house in over 18 seasons. Some of you guys may disagree with me, but they're pretty wild. Thank you, Big Brother, for these head-scratching twists. I think that the craziest one in the beginning, before we even learned about the other ones, had to be the stowaways twist, because the house guests were getting along, getting to know each other, and then boom, Julie Chen says, well, there's 4 people hiding in the house. And everybody's like, well, I wonder who's coming back, and they're speculating, and then out pops Nicole from season 16. I'm like, Nicole, my gosh, she's back. And then out pops James from season 17. And I was like, wow, okay, really? Cool. And then Davon pops out, and I'm like, well, I did hear a spoiler that Davon was coming back, but I wasn't sure if that was 100%. That's why I said in my interviews video for Big Brother 18 that I was just going to wait and see how it was all going to play out, because I didn't want to say something was going to happen and then it didn't. But I think the biggest surprise that truly made me happy was Frank Udy. I'm so happy to see this dude back. He was my fave in the seasons that he played in, that I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. I believe it was somewhere like, what was it, season 13 did he play? God, it's been so long. But anyway, I love Frank Udy a lot, and I was mad that he didn't win that season with the coaches, because he was a really good player in my opinion. So I think it's pretty cool how immediately the returning 4 decide they want to team up, then the newbies decide they want to team up. However, on a side note, I would not be, and yes, this is me saying this sitting at home watching Big Brother like I always do, but I wouldn't be the loudest person talking when it comes to the rookies coming together. I would be listening like quite a few of the other people were. But it seemed like Zakiya, Jose, and Paul outed themselves as being the main people that wanted the vets to leave. So why am I mentioning this in this review? Because when it hits the fan and somebody has to be blamed, those 3, their names will pop up. And one of those 3 might go home, and then another one might go home, and then another one might go home. That's why the one thing I've always said about Big Brother and watching it was like, I try to root for the players that kind of sit back and watch, because I feel like that is the smartest strategy in the beginning of this game, to just sit back, watch, and chill. That's all I'm saying. But Paulie makes the mistake of revealing that Cody is his brother. Now, I know Paulie and Cody look alike, but I think that that time was not the right time to say it. Not that there is a right time to say it, but still, like, it was pretty much newbies versus the vets. Now it's pretty much everyone side-eyeing Paulie like, your brother played this game, so why should we keep you here? And your brother told you how to play, and suspicion and paranoia and all that jazz pop up. So this season, in regards to Davon, it's a new day for Davon Rogers, because like I said, she's calm, she's chill, she's not going off. I don't think she's going to go off. She's just going to fuss in her diary room sessions, and I'm all here for it. I'm so happy she's back, because I love how we as viewers and fans and feed watchers have a rapport with her because she talks to us. I'm not saying other people in other seasons didn't talk to us, but Davon kept the conversation up with us, and I thought that was pretty awesome in season 17. But Davon figured out, obviously, that Tiffany is Vanessa's sister. But Davon's going to keep that information to herself, and I'm so happy she's going to do that. So happy. But Michelle figured out that Tiffany is Vanessa's sister. Now, does that mean that these two are the only people who figured out this truth? No. Because remember, this episode was edited to fit into a 2-hour time frame. And since it's 2 hours, it's probably like an hour and 20 minutes if you are 30 minutes if you take out all of the commercials. But it was fit into that time frame. I'm sure somebody else figured out that Tiffany is Vanessa's sister and is just lying in wait for someone to bring up that information. So Big Brother throws out another twist and says that these players have to work in teams of 4, right? And all of the veterans have to pick their teams. And I was like, okay, cool, this is something new. But Julie Chen says, nah. But here's the catch. If you're a girl, you have to pick a guy. If you're a guy, you have to pick a girl. And that person has to pick a person of the opposite sex. And that person has to pick a person of the opposite sex. And so on and so forth until everybody is picked. So I'm just sitting up here like, what kind of mess? How is this going to work? And it came down to 4 teams. Frank's team, which includes Frank, Michelle, Paulie, and Bridget. They're known as Category 4. Davon's team, known as Big Sister, which includes Paul, Zakiya, and Jose. Even though it's sad how Paulie jumped up and thought that Davon was picking him. He seemed so excited. I felt so bad for Paulie. But maybe Davon can work with him on a side type of deal, type of thing. Hopefully she makes it farther than she did in season 17. But anyway, Day's team is known as Big Sister. Then there's James's team, which includes Natalie, Victor, and Bronte. They're known as Unicorn. And Nicole's team is Corey, Tiffany, and Glenn, and they're known as the Freakazoids. These are the craziest names for these teams, but I guess they had to be creative really quick, and that's all they could think of. So I had to play this whole Ride the Rocket thing, and what happened was that James's team won. They won, I believe they won some money, if memory serves, and they won safety for 2 weeks. Which is all fine and dandy, but the only thing about that particular prize is I feel like Big Brother is going to make them do something very, very tough, i.e. probably like pick players for another game, or like have to pick nominees or something. I mean, I'm just like pulling things out of the air. But so in the second part of the competition, Frank's team, Category 4, won. So then it came down to the Freakazoids versus Big Sister. And this is why I love Big Brother so much, because that edit for Davon's diary room session had everybody fooled and everyone thinking that she was going home. I mean, she was emotional. She was crying. I'm like, oh man, she went home. I'm like, this sucks. She just got in this game. And lo and behold, she did not go home because her team pulled through. And why did they pull through? Because Glenn was on Nicole's Freakazoid team. Glenn being the 50-year-old dog groomer from the Bronx, who is actually a cop, despite the fact that he thinks that no one will be able to tell that he was a cop. I hate to break it to you, Glenn, but no, I'm sure somebody is going to figure that out pretty soon. These players seem to be very, very aware of what's going on. Some of them are trying to play like they don't know what's going on, play that they're a little flighty or a little bit like, oh my gosh, but these are smart people in this house. Somebody's gonna figure that out. But anyway, Glenn was trying to tell his crew, listen, there's something wrong with the base. We gotta fix that. They didn't listen to him, which gave Davon's team enough time to catch up, mess up, and then completely win the game. So Day is safe. And me, I'm happy about that because it would have sucked for Day to lose, especially after what happened last season. I want to see her take advantage of this second chance and really pull through. The two last things that I want to talk about before I end this video are as follows. Number one, Jose's favorite player is Frankie Grande from season 16, which explains why Jose is very outspoken like Frankie, and he came for Julie Chen during his diary room session like Frankie came for the fans during that one episode in season 16, and that's why a lot of people don't like him. And Zakia would be a really awesome player in this game if she would, number one, get rid of this showmance idea, because showmances don't work in this game. I mean, I've seen people get married and stuff, but they didn't let the showmance truly take over their game. And usually in showmances, girls get hurt, or in some cases a guy will get hurt, but for the most part it's usually the girls. And Zakia is pushing for Davon to go home. She is on board with Paul and Jose, but if Davon goes home, Zakia might follow. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm Sage Valentine. I will be back tomorrow to review part 2. I hope you enjoyed this review. You all take care, and I love you guys. I'm glad to be back. Bye, guys. Bye.